Good morning. So I'm going to show you how to use the crosscut jig for cutting our puzzle pieces into 8 centimeter long chunks. It's a fairly standard procedure. The most important thing we're going to be worried about is keeping our fingers away from the blade while it's moving. So as I demonstrate this, you'll notice that I'm keeping my fingers well away from the blade, and it's not a rush. This is not a race. So I've got a short block. I'll only be cutting probably 3 or 4 pieces from this, but you'll get the same idea as if I was cutting 6. And that's what we're looking for. All you need is 6 pieces. If there's a piece left over, it goes back onto the workbench. Okay, so we'll have a look at what's happening here. So there we are. I've got a few pieces already cut. The first thing I'm going to do, and we do this all the time with just about anything we make, is make sure that I have a good end before I do anything else. So my first cut, I'm going to be holding the jig over here, and I'm not going to worry about that little piece I cut off. I'll have my right hand over here on the right, and it's a push-pull situation where I'm kind of holding that piece of wood down and back with my fingers, and I'm using my thumb to push the jig forward. So I'll cut a little bit off the end. You'll see me dispose of that piece of wood. That needs to end up in a firewood box, and then I'll just keep sliding the wood over until it gets to this little stop block here on the left. That's my measuring device. You'll notice there aren't any marks. I'm not using any measurements. I haven't measured anything on this piece of wood. It's all about where that stop block is. So you'll notice that I was very careful to move those pieces out of the way, keeping my hand really far away from the blade. That first little offcut that I created, it ended up in a good situation. It kind of dropped out of the way for us. And you'll notice I've waited for the bandsaw to stop before I deal with those 2 little pieces. These end up in the firewood bin. The next thing to take a look at is how to draw our cuts on the puzzle pieces.